It is Wednesday, October the 18th, opening night for most of these NBA teams. There were 2 games last night, of course, but a full slate tonight, so the NBA season officially kicking off now. I will be involved in 3 games tonight, would like to go through them now quickly. Let's start in Detroit, where the Pistons host the Charlotte Hornets. Detroit, a 3.5-point favorite at Betsafe, 204 the total in this one. Both these teams expected to be fringe playoff contenders in the East. I think this is a really important year for the Pistons under Stan Van Gundy. They weren't as good as most people thought they would be last season. Their 2 stars, Reggie Jackson, Andre Drummond, might have regressed a little bit. Those guys really need to step it up this year. But this Detroit team does have some pieces. They acquired Avery Bradley, ex-Boston Celtic, in the offseason. He's an excellent two-way player. Tobias Harris, certainly a versatile scorer. Tonight they'll be hosting the Charlotte Hornets, a team that's missing 2 starters. Nick Batum out several weeks with that elbow injury, and Michael Kidd-Gilchrist will be missing this game for personal reasons. Batum in particular will be difficult to replace. He's the second best player on this Hornets roster, but Kidd-Gilchrist, an excellent defensive player, and Batum plays good defense as well. So without those two, this Hornets team will be much worse on the defensive end. Feels like a tough spot for them to me. Going on the road, opening night, face this Pistons team. I like Detroit here, and I think they're going to cover the 3.5-point number. Moving on now to Washington, where the Wizards host the new-look Philadelphia 76ers. Wizards a 7-point favorite at Betsafe, 215.5 the total in this one. A lot of hype surrounding this Philadelphia team entering the season, and you can understand why. A lot of young talent on the roster. We've already seen what Joel Embiid can do. Ben Simmons, Markelle Fultz, the #1 picks in each of the past 2 drafts. They'll both be making their NBA debut in this game. And the Sixers added some other pieces as well. Guys like veteran sharpshooter J.J. Redick will certainly help stabilize the rotation. But you would think it would take some time for them to gel. I mean, so many new pieces, so much youth. Just not sure how it's going to look for the first couple of weeks or even couple of months for this Philadelphia team. And they're going to Washington here to face a Wizards team that pushed the Celtics to the brink. They took the Celtics to 7 games in the Eastern Conference semis last year. The Wizards are returning all their key pieces from that team. They have maybe the best backcourt in the Eastern Conference in John Wall and Bradley Beal, and the Sixers with nothing but youth at the point guard position. So I think the Wizards a good bet to win this game. Keep in mind, the Wizards started last season slowly, and they have really made it a focus throughout training camp to not repeat that mistake this season. The Wizards have been talking a lot about starting the season fast. They have an excellent opportunity here with a young Philadelphia team coming to town. I think the Wizards win this one comfortably and cover that 7-point number. Final game I'd like to talk about on this Wednesday night. What about the Atlanta Hawks traveling to Dallas to face the Mavericks? Dallas a 6-point favorite at Betsafe, 197.5 the total here. Now neither of these teams expected to make the playoffs this season, and the Hawks are supposed to be especially bad after losing Paul Millsap and Dwight Howard in the offseason. Dennis Schroeder, the best player remaining on this Atlanta roster. But don't expect the Hawks to tank the season. They're very well coached under Mike Budenholzer, and the roster is dotted with sort of veteran strivers, mid-tier veterans, guys like Kent Bazemore, Ersan Ilyasova. Something tells me that these Hawks will be the type of team that racks up wins against other bad teams. Teams like the Dallas Mavericks. Now look, you look at Dallas's roster, certainly they appear to be more talented than the Hawks, but the Mavs will be led by a rookie point guard in Dennis Smith. And Smith could get his welcome to the NBA moment being hounded by Dennis Schroeder all night. And also these Mavs will not be very good defensively this season. We know that just from looking at their roster. Something tells me 6 points might be too many in this situation. The Hawks could go in there and win this game. They could keep it close as well. I don't expect Dallas to be blowing out too many teams this season. So I'm happy to take a chance with Atlanta here, +6 on the road in Dallas. Well, folks, those are my thoughts on this Wednesday, October the 18th. I wish you best of luck no matter what you decide to do, just so long as your interests don't conflict with my interests. For Betsafe, I'm John Arnett.